Today we're looking at more of my Magic the Gathering card collection, specifically the Battle for Zendikar block, Part 1. The Battle for Zendikar. Zendikar was already a thing back in the day before I was collecting Magic, so I can't really talk about that too much, but this released in 2015 with its second half coming in 2016, the short-lived 2-block paradigm, from what I was reading on the Wikipedia page. At this point in my life, I was still confused how Magic the Gathering was releasing at all, how it worked. I feel like I remember researching what that meant with the block and the fact that they would release 3 parts and then a core and the whole thing, and I remember it and go, yes, this makes sense, and then promptly forget that, so the next time we would be buying cards a little bit later, I don't know what I'm talking about again, and I don't remember how it works. But this was around the time that I had moved in with a roommate in 2015, and that began a saga of sorts, where we would one-up each other almost as we were trying to buy Magic cards. It would be go to the store for one reason or another. Well, you know, they got Magic cards there, right? Yes, I could probably afford a pack. And the other person would go, well, I could get 2. Oh, well, then I'll get 3. And then it's like, oh, hold on, wait, you're getting 2 and I'm getting 3. You can't, I don't know. It was so stupid. We're adults. We're 20-something-year-olds at this point. There was no reason to do that. But man, it was fun. It was just peer pressure, straight up. And we just peer pressured each other into buying more and more Magic cards all the time. I have sorted my collection here. This is just the extra stuff. It's not enough to fill the whole box, but the real treasures are in the book. The Eldrazi. These things are so cool. They're like colorless. I definitely remember making some colorless decks with that. Look, I've got a mythic rare over here. Oh man, these things are cool. This first introduction to anything like this, and I'll tell you currently in 2024, when I'm recording this, I've started playing Baldur's Gate. Slight spoiler for the introduction to Baldur's Gate. You deal with a Mind Flayer who is very reminiscent of this kind of tentacle-y, you know, almost Cthulhu-like creatures. Anyway, the mechanics that they brought into Battle for Zendikar, some of them I think are repeats of old ones, some of them are brand new. Devoid, Ingest, Rally, Awaken, and Converge. Of all of those, I remember Rally a fair amount. That was probably the one that I have the most memory of because I made decks based around it. I think it was the one that it was either the first one, if I'm gonna guess. They had like, here's how you play Magic pamphlets that would go into these things. Yeah, look at some of these Eldrazi drones. Oh man. All right, this, yeah. Anyway, the pamphlets, they would be like, here's how you play Magic the Gathering. If I can guess, Rally was either the first one listed or the shortest one listed. And me with my brain went, I'll learn what this one means. And it was the easiest to wrap my head around. And that's the one that I stuck with and made decks based around. I remember the Sphinx. And I don't know if I remember it because I saw it and was like, that's like one of the Yu-Gi-Oh cards I used to play with. But yeah, we got some really cool stuff here. Oh man. Look at some of the artwork on these. I remember Defiant Bloodlord. I remember the artwork for that one. That was really cool. Another mythic rare over here. Drana Liberator of Malakir, maybe, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. That's pretty cool. Oh, yeah. I remember that one. Yeah, these are, there's a lot of tentacle, a lot of kind of, I mean, that's the Eldrazi, right? That's what they look like. That's the whole thing. That's their whole deal. But, you know, it's really cool. I like the way that they did this. Oh man. That brings back some memories of opening many a pack, looking through this stuff, building decks around them, looking at the different ones. Oh man, I don't even remember this one. Yeah. Oh yeah, Blister Pod. You got some of that. So this is about how many I managed to collect. There's a Green Warden, another mythic rare. Really cool. So Nissa, okay, so there were planeswalkers. I couldn't remember if there were planeswalkers in that or not. I don't think I had any planeswalkers. Oh yeah, check that out. That's cool. One of the Eldrazi. Sire of Stagnation. Check that out. I'll zoom in here in a second on some of these. Man, this is some, yeah, just kind of go, okay, I did have a planeswalker. Look at that, Kiora. I forgot about that. That's awesome. Oh, yeah. Okay, and then we get into some of the lands that they did. I like that. This was, I don't know I don't remember if I've already talked about it in a previous video with Magic the Gathering. At some point, there was an introduction to full art land, and I feel like this was it. Because we already had the, you've got your normal lands. They've got cool artwork. It's really cool. You need land to play the game. It's how you do it. But then you got full art, and it's beautiful, and they were something to chase after. Look at that. It's so cool. Man. We've got some of the tokens. Yeah. All right. Let's zoom in on some of these. So yeah, there's a Planeswalker. That would have been the only one I got. Kiora. She's cool. I'm sure I put her in a deck at some point. That was awesome. I said before, that Sire of Stagnation. Look at the artwork on this. And look at the one above it too. Fathom Feeder. Some of these are just beautiful. It's just really cool to look back through some of this stuff and see what some of the older ones and how they did the artwork for them. You just imagine opening packs and packs of them. There's Green Warden there. Like, man. Check out the Drana, like I said before. Here we go. Oh, man. Flying in first strike. And whenever she deals combat damage to a player, 1/1 counter on each attacking creature you control. So you just keep hammering over and over. This would be devastating if you've got like a bunch with Death Touch, so you just keep wiping out your opponent's field and then just playing more and more and putting, oh man, yeah. This is really cool. Defiant Bloodlord was another one I remember specifically. I'm really glad I have this. I like that it's bindered now as part of the collection. Some of these just have some gorgeous artwork. This really, kind of creepy. There's the Sphinx I talked about before. The Eldrazi were just, oh man. Not knowing anything about the story of them and just seeing some of the cards of what they did here with this stuff, I really look forward to being able to, now that I have this, I wish I had them all. Of course, I'm nowhere near complete with any of them. We talked about before. I remember this like blue and red. I think I looked at it and remember, I was like, oh, Spider-Man. But that's one of the pretty common themes that they do a lot of artwork of throughout this stuff. And some of these are really, really beautiful. Oh man, some really cool stuff here. This was definitely a time where I really enjoyed collecting the Magic cards, going through, buying as many packs as we could every time we went out, looking for them. And more specifically, we'll get into it next time because there was something else that we were chasing. We'll talk about that next time. But just look at some of these. How about that? I don't remember if we went to any specific, this may be, we may have done a midnight release. I don't remember specifically if we did a midnight release, but we may have. Oh yeah, look at Nettle Drone. Anyway. Touch of the Void. Yeah, there we go. There's some creepy tentacle-like stuff right there. Yeah, this was really cool. It was a cool concept. I don't remember what we came off of before this with collecting the cards, but I definitely remember going hard on the Battle for Zendikar. This was some really cool stuff here. I really liked these cards. The artwork style spoke to me at the time, and it's really neat to look through. Oh man, there's Part the Water Veil down there is another mythic rare that I have. I like pulling the rare stuff. Man, who doesn't? This is just great. It's fun to look through this stuff. I have even more memories about the second half of this, and we'll talk about that next time. But for pretty obvious reasons, especially some of these full art, oh man, I could be looking at this stuff all day long. I'm really glad I got this stuff bindered up already, because it's just fun to flip through and look through all the ones. Some of them I remember specifically. Pilgrim's Eye. I think they've reprinted this one a few times. They must have, because I feel like I've seen this artwork dozens of times. Ah, it's so cool. All right. For obvious reasons at this point, I'm sure Magic the Gathering in general is something I like, but the Battle for Zendikar was just, oh man, it was a good time. This was something that I liked.